students, very good morning. Again, we are with the important passage from Macbeth, written by William Shakespeare, and this is the text number 15 according to my this series. And we have the text, the passage from Act 3, Scene 4. First of all, I recite the text and then we will see the context, reference and the meaning of these lines and what are the dramatic importance in the play of these lines. So let us go with the lines. I caught, this is the very painting of your fear. This is the air-drawn dagger which you set, led you to Duncan. Oh, these flowers and stars, impostors to true rear, would well become a woman's story at a winter's fire, authorized by his grand shame itself. Why do you make such faces? When all is done, you look but on a stool. So these are the lines that we have to discuss with. So let us first see from where these lines have been taken. So as I already told you, these lines are from Act 3, Scene 4 of Macbeth, which is written by William Shakespeare. We have been doing for the last 2 months. This scene is very important scene. These lines are from this important scene. This scene is known as banquet scene. Banquet scene means a party is being given by Macbeth. A royal feast has been arranged for all the courtiers, loyals, nobles of Scotland by Macbeth. Because we know that Macbeth has got the throne after having murdered King Duncan. So, in that pleasure or in that point of view, he is inviting all the important persons of Scotland to a dinner. But very before this scene, we also saw, that is in the scene 3rd of the act 3rd, that Macbeth had arranged 2 murderers for the murder of Banquo and his son. Because Macbeth always feared of Banquo and his son even after getting the throne. That's what we have already seen. So he calls the 2 murderers and tells them the plan and makes them understand the plan, how they have to commit the murder of Banquo and his son. And we also saw that these 2 murderers did the crime, did the act. But what happened? Only Banquo was killed and his son Fleance was escaped. So this information was given to Macbeth when the party was being done in the banquet hall. The guests were presenting there. Lady Macbeth were welcoming them. They were just only regretting. Lady Macbeth and Macbeth were regretting only that Banquo is not there. Banquo is not among them. Although the audience knows very well, we know very well that what had happened with Banquo and who did that. That is, Macbeth made Banquo killed. Even then, he talks in that way. That is artificial, or that is we can say a sycophancy. Sweet tongue is there on Macbeth. And he says the other guest that sorry that we don't have Banco today because he had some urgent work, therefore he left the city, so he won't be able to come in that party. But what we see that at that moment when Macbeth and Lady Macbeth speaks the name of Banquo, the ghost of Banquo appears and sits in the seat of Macbeth, where Macbeth was to sit during the party. The ghost of Banquo appears there and he sits in that seat. And another thing that happened was that this ghost was only seen by Macbeth. Others were not able to see that. So when Macbeth saw that his seat is full, that he was said to ask sit down, but Macbeth couldn't. What Macbeth sees? That his seat is full. So he says, no, he can't sit because there is no seat which is vacant. He can't sit. So Macbeth addresses it in very horror way. Then all the courtiers, all the people who were attending the banquet thought that Macbeth is in fits. That is, Macbeth is in terror. That Macbeth is unwell. His mind is, his senses are not in proper way. So Lady Macbeth intervenes at that time and makes excuses for him, and then we see that the ghost disappears. But very soon what we see, that the ghost of Banquo reappears and confuses the guilty soul of Macbeth. So Macbeth is absolutely confused seeing the ghost of Banquo, whom he thinks that been murdered recently by the two murderers. Therefore, in order to control the situation as well as to make relax and to control Macbeth, so that the wrong impression may not go to the courtiers, Lady Macbeth speaks these lines that we have for today to Macbeth. So let us see what are these lines. In these lines, Lady Macbeth rebukes her husband when he tells that the sight he sees is quite horrible. So when Macbeth says that the sight is very horrible and he sees the ghost of Banquo there, that his seat is full. So hearing these words, Lady Macbeth rebukes him and she says that what kind of silly thing you have been doing, it's all silly. She rejects it as a silly. She says it is absolutely nonsense. It is just the creation of his imagination. So what she says, it's just painting. Painting is creation. So it is just a creation of his imagination. As he saw earlier, air drawn dagger floating in the air. So in dagger scene we saw that Macbeth saw the dagger which was floating in the air. He wanted to clutch it but couldn't. So here Lady Macbeth reminding him about his previous fits, previous sights that he saw, or the creation of his mind that he had in previous scenes. Yes, she says that this is nothing, this is the same thing like the dagger he saw in the dagger scene. So it is just an illusion. It is creation of mind. False. There is no object of fear, she says. So he has to worry for nothing. There is nothing to worry about. And she says that these sudden fits of fear, that is, the flows and starts. Here the word we have the flows and starts means the fits, momentary fits, sudden fits of fear. They are only the false alarms. They are false. They are deceptive. They are deceptions. They are not real. They are unworthy of a brave man. That is, for a brave man, these all things are not deserving. That is, all these things are not for a brave man. And this doesn't appear good for a brave man act like this way and fear of in such a way. Then she says also that this is the same thing. This is like a story told by a woman sitting by the fireside on a winter evening. So, the story that, or the description, the narration that Macbeth says that he is seeing the ghost of Banquo, his seat is full, there is no vacancy. So, Lady Macbeth rejects his idea and tells him that you are creating a story just like a woman who creates the false story sitting by the fireside on a winter evening. That is the story that we hear from our grandmother in the winter evening by the fireside. And it is also thought that this woman must have heard the story from her grandmother. So, generation to generation, such kind of false stories are transmitted, and we are heard these false stories by our grandmothers in order to please us, in order to get pleasure. And these stories are told frequently, often. So, in this way, Lady Macbeth in these lines tells that it's all foolishness, that it is absolutely the product of Macbeth's frightened imagination. It is nothing else. She says that this is fantastic, like the imaginary dagger that I have already explained to you. He saw in the air, floating in the air, and which was directing him his steps towards Duncan's room. So, in this way, in these lines, Lady Macbeth criticizes as well as warns, as well as rebukes, condemns Macbeth for his such unnatural behavior in the banquet. So, we see that how Macbeth, even after committing murder after murder, that is, first the murder of King Duncan, then the two grooms, and then because of his fear in his mind, he also murders Banquo by the two murderers. Even then, he is not happy and his mind is absolutely perturbed and he sees illusions. And the ghost of Banquo's appearance in the banquet scene or in the banquet or in the dinner is totally the creation of Macbeth's weak mind. This is what we have to here understand. And we have to see one more thing from Lady Macbeth. You see how Lady Macbeth handles the situation when her husband is perturbed in the party, before the loyals, before the courtiers, before the noblemen of the city. So, see the management power of Lady Macbeth in the contrast of losing confidence by Macbeth and the fear which is torturing Macbeth's mind. So, this is what we have seen in these lines. So far, the critical appreciation or the note of these lines, we can just say that the interest of this scene lies in Macbeth's struggle with the supernatural power. So here Macbeth is struggling with the supernatural power. Earlier there were the witches. They they tempted him, and he was in the grip of them. Now there is the ghost of Banquo, again the supernatural element. So the Macbeth's mind is struggling with the supernaturals, and these powers are representing destiny, whom he has defied. Although he has defied his own destiny, and these supernaturals who are slowly marking him down, that is, from the top to down. Now Macbeth is falling down. He murdered King Duncan. Earlier, he was awarded the Thane of Cawdor. Earlier, he was appreciated, admired by King Duncan, and his position was very esteemed. He was esteemed in every eyes. But how he falls down because of these supernatural powers. That is, now he is murdering, is doing murder after murder in order to secure himself, in order to save himself. So we feel also that Macbeth has touched the extreme of torture. Now here, extreme of torture. Macbeth is also being tortured through the supernatural elements. Even after getting the throne, he is not happy. And Lady Macbeth tries to rouse her husband from his apathy of horror, that we have seen how she helps him, and she succeeds for the moment. But very soon, when there is the second appearance of the ghost, that is proves too much, even for her resources. So, when the second appearance of the ghost was there, Lady Macbeth also broke out. And then she suspended the meeting, cancelled the meeting, requesting that her husband is unwell. He is not well, therefore the meeting is suspended. So, we should admire Lady Macbeth's management qualities, management power to control the situation, critical situations, and how she manages. And on the other side, we see the weak mind of Macbeth. So, dear student, this is what for today I have, and I hope you will enjoy it. So, thank you very much. See you.